Akansh, very good evening. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
How are you?
I am fine, sir. How are you, sir?
Very fine. My voice is audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? Today topic is the animal behavior. Yes or no? After the sense organ, next chapter is the animal behavior. Okay. Is it clear? Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
So animal behavior is also one type of the science. Actually, we can study. So animal behavior is influenced by the many factors. Okay. Animal behavior is influenced by the many factors. Animal behavior is the scientific study of the wild and wonderful ways in which animals interact with each other, with other living beings, and with the environment. So that means animal behavior is also one type of the science. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next, both the external and internal stimuli promote the animal behavior. Okay. Both the internal and external stimuli promote the behavior. So actually in the animal behavior, how many types of the animal behavior is present? 4 types of the animal behaviors are present. How many? 4 types of the animal behavior.
Yes, sir.
What are they?
Instinct, imprinting,
Yes.
conditional and imitation.
So that means first one, instinct. Instinct. Instinct behavior. Second one is the imprinting. Imprinting. Okay. Imprinting. Third one is the conditioning. 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 Okay. Next, fourth one is the imitation. What is that? Imitation. Imitation. So 4 types of the animal behavior is present. One is the instinct behavior and imprinting behavior, conditioning behavior and imitation behavior. Yes or no? Here you can see, okay, you can see here actually so different types of the animal behavior. There are several types of the animal behavior in the humans and other animals that have been described in the investigated by the researchers. The following types of they have been studied so far. First one is the instinct behavior, second one is the imprinting behavior, third one is the conditioning behavior and fourth one is the imitation. First one, instinct behavior. Instinct behavior means instinctual behavior or the behavior that need not to be learned. So that means when we are born automatically we know. Okay. Instinctual behavior or the behavior that need not to be learned. So actually instinct behavior actually complex like making the nest by the birds. Okay, nest making by the birds is the example of the instinct behavior. Second one is the choose mates. Okay, mates, choosing of the mates and forming into the group of that forming into groups for the protection of the organism. So these are the examples of the instinct behavior. Are you understand?
Yes, sir.
Next here, one more definition here they are given. Okay. So for example, if you are touched to the hot utensils, you can remove your hand. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Instinct behaviors which need not be done. So can we say that breathing as the instinct behavior, sir?
What?
Can we say breathing is instinct behavior, sir?
What again speak?
Can
Breathing, that is also instinct behavior only. Need not to learn, no?
Yes, sir.
Next, if your hand touches something hot or sharpened object, accidentally it automatically moves away. This is the because of the reflex action. Reflex actions also one type of the instinct behavior. We do not have to learn them. So reflex action, for example, anything is enter into the generally in the hatch. Generally, any hot objects we can remove our hands. So these are that any bright light focused on your eyes, we can close our eyes. These are all are known as the reflex actions. Reflex actions also one of the examples of the instinct behavior. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear? First one is the instinct behavior. Instinct behavior actually we can behavior. These are the behavior need not to be learned. Okay. Actually, reflex actions also one type of the instinct behavior. Examples of that instinct behavior is the a spider spinning of the web. Okay. Next birds making to the nest and choose the mates and making forming into the group of the protection of the organism. This is known as the instinct behavior. Second one is the imprinting. Second one what? Imprinting. What is the meaning of the imprinting? Imprinting means, you can see that chickens and ducklings are able to walk almost immediately after hatching from the egg. Is it clear? Chickens and duckling are able to walk almost immediately after hatching from the egg. So that means duckling can even swim after a few days. So that means they recognize their mother because of a behavior type is called imprinting. So that means duckling will follow the first moving object they meet after hatching. They become socially attached to this object and treat it as their mother. Imprinting lets young animals recognize their mother from a young one. They can follow her for the food and protection. Actually, you can see in the villages, actually mother chicks they can go front, back they are that offspring it will come. So which are the moving object? Which is the moving object? Their parents. They are think like that. So that's why these are the chicks and duckling. They can follow to that parents because of this is the one type of the imprinting. This is the one type of the imprinting. Next one is the yes. Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Next one. So actually, imprinting is useful if the first moving object they see really is their mother. But duckling will imprint on the people, balls and even cardboard boxes if these happen to be the first things they can see. So next one is the conditioning. Next one is the conditioning. What is the conditioning? Conditioning means actually this conditioning is the one type of the behavior. This conditioning is the one type of the behavior. It is involving the response to the stimulus that is different from the natural one. It is a one type of the learned behavior. Actually, for example, I can provide to the food in your mouth automatically that saliva secreted to that salivary gland secreted to the saliva. So that is the naturally I can provide to the food. You are naturally secreted to the saliva. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, for example, in our school, morning 8:30, ring the bell. That bell is the recognized we are all of them assembled together, assembly bell. First period 9 o'clock, all of them enter into the class. After the break bell, everyone they can go to the out. Lunch time, that bell says that this is the ready to eat the lunch. After the long bell, you can ready to go to the home. So that means everything is the ring the bell only. Why? Because they are the teachers or they are learned. This is the first period. This is the second period. These are the period you can stay in the classroom. Break time you can use it to the break. Go to the washrooms and take if any snacks is there you can eat. Lunch time you can eat the lunch. After the long bell you can go to the home. So they are learned. These are the things. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
At the same time, conditional behavior. Ivan Pavlov is the scientist. Ivan Pavlov is the scientist. In this Ivan Pavlov, so many experiments conducted on the dog. Okay, what he bought means actually that food is provided to the dog, that dog secreted to the saliva. Dog is secreted to the saliva. So after that, first he ring the bell. Ring the bell. That time, okay, again he is not provided to the food. Okay, he is not provided to the food. That dog is secreted to the saliva. Next, so many times he did this experiment. First ring the bell, after that provide to the food. Ring the bell, after that provide the food. So that means that dog associated with what he is thinking, if they ring the bell, that okay, he was provided to the food to me. Okay, so that's why he ring the bell after that dog secreted to the saliva. So that means this is the one type of the conditional learning. For example, everyone please attention and sing the national anthem. The Janagana Mana Adinayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidat. This is also one type of the
Conditional behavior.
conditional learning. Again, so once I am reading, once you can see. Conditioning is a type of the behavior. It involving a response to the stimulus that is a different from the natural one. It is a type of learned behavior. Is it correct?
Yes, yes.
So actually, if we take the ringing of the school bell as an example, students show different types of the conditioning to school bell as for the time. When the school bell rings in the morning, students gather for the assembly. When the school bell rings at the end of the break time, the students leave the playground and go to their class. When the school bell rings at the last period, students rush to leave their classroom. This is one stimulus of the ringing of the school bell, but students show different responses to it. It is only because of their experiences they had learnt when to perform which function. They would be wrong sometimes. So Ivan Pavlov, he was a Russian scientist who has investigated conditioning. He discovered that a dog produced extra saliva when they were offered food. This is the natural response. Natural stimulus what? Natural stimulus is the providing to the food. What is the natural response? Secreted to the saliva. Secreted to the saliva. So, any doubt? So, natural response to the stimulus is the food, which makes a dog's mouth water. The saliva produced is needed to start the digesting food and to make a swallowing food easier. So, even Pavlov noticed that they also did the same when the person who fed them came into the room, even if the person had not brought any food. Paulo went to the ring a bell at the start of the feeding time, and eventually the dog produced extra saliva when they heard the bell before any food was brought in. So a dog salivating when it hears a bell is not a natural response. They would not do this without being conditioned to do so. The behavior has been learned, so that's why it is called conditional response. Okay? Conditional response. So people and animals can be conditional to avoid certain things. For example, grazing animal get an unpleasant electric shocks when they touch an electric fence. So this is also one type of the conditional learning. Eventually they avoid fence even when it is turned off. So this is one type of the Next, Ivan Pavlov conducted experiment on dash conducting conditioning of the dog. And imitation also type of the behavior where one animal copies another animal. Actually, you know very well. So most of the students they are copy to that imitation to the teacher. Most of the actress, okay. So we are also follow that, okay, especially for that cine heroes. Why? Because this is a imitation. Imitation means we can follow to. So most of the in the schools, most of the students they can follow to that teacher. They are imitate like a teacher. Imitation also one type of the behavior. You are also imitate like Chiranjeevi. You are also imitate like Rajinikanth. You are also imitate like your principal. You are also imitate like your friends. So imitation also one type of the behavior. Next, human behavior is a more complex because we are more intelligent and aware of the ourselves. So that means every time that a human being is which time they are happy, which time they are sad, we don't know. Why? Because different moment they have the different situation. Sometimes they are happy, sometimes they are sad, sometimes they are angry. So this human animal behavior is a complex. It is a complex. Next, tagging help to scientists to follow the journey of the animals make. Next, identifying or smelling the ability of the dogs and searching and communicating nature of ants is because of the pheromones. Actually, you know very well. Do you know ants? Ants. Do you know ants? Ants they can move one after another. They can where that sweet is present on that particular area. They can move, and you know very well. Okay, so especially searching of that dogs also they can search that smell, and this is the because of the pheromones they can identify. And next, beaver, a mammal which lives in the North America, build dams across the water streams. Very important. Beaver is a mammal which lives in the North America, build dams across the water streams. Dolphin have a great logical thinking power. Which of the animal is the great logical thinking? Dolphin. Next, in 1977, Irvin Pepperberg made a learned more than 100 words to Alex the grey parrot. Actually, how many words they learned? 100 words. Some animals spray bad smell through their body to protect from the predator. Example, again these are the diagrams is there. Tasmanian devil and bombardier beetle. So these are the protect purpose, they are releasing to the bad smell. Next, you know very well, study of the behavior is called ethology. Study of the behavior is called ethology. Ethology is the scientific and objective study of the animal behavior, and this is a subtopic of the zoology. Actually, ethology is a branch of science, it deals with the animal behavior. So, this is the subtopic of the zoology. Next, Konrad Lorenz. Okay. Konrad Lorenz was an Austrian scientist who worked on the animal behavior. He studied especially for the imprinting in the geese. He studied which of the animal? Imprinting of the geese. Next, Ivan Pavlov discovered the dog produced extra saliva when they were offered food, which is a natural response. Next, a dog is salivating when it hears a bell. When the person who fed them came into the room is not a natural response. The behavior has been learned. So that's why this is called conditional learning or conditional response. Conditional response. Next, ethology is a branch of science. It deals with the study of the animal behavior. Ethology began during the 1930s with the work of the Dutch biologist Nicholas Timbergen and by Australian biologist Konrad Lorenz and Carl von Frisch. They both of them got the Nobel Prize in their work Animal Behavior in the 1973. So which is the highest prize in the world?
Nobel Prize.
So Nobel Prize giving to the which are the department, can you say? What are the department, what are the subjects they are giving? Huh?
So, for service, they have done so.
Huh?
For the service,
Say properly.
for the service that they have done,
What services, which subjects they are giving? Physics, chemistry, biology, medicine. Next, physics, chemistry, biology, economics, literature. Okay, literature, physics, chemistry, literature, physics, chemistry, biology, and economics, literature. Generally, we are giving highest prize in that world is the Nobel Prize. What is the highest prize in India? Highest prize in India. What is the highest prize in India? Bharat Ratna. Second highest prize. Second highest Padma Vibhushan. Third highest Padma Bhushan. Fourth highest Padma Sri. Okay, Padma award is the highest. Actually, Bharat Ratna is the highest award in our India. Okay, Bharat Ratna after highest award Padma Vibhushan. Padma Vibhushan after Padma Bhushan. Padma Bhushan after Padma Sri. Okay. So these are the three scientists got the Nobel Prize. Actually, students they discovered to the animal behavior 1930, but they got the Nobel Prize 1973. After the 43 years they can got the Nobel Prize. So here you are keep in your mind, patience is the required to everyone. Okay. So most of the students, if the first test they are getting very less marks, never study. Okay, so that is not correct idea. Okay, so you can try and try until you will success. If you are not try, how you will get that success? How you get the knowledge? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Next. So animal behavior, you can see animal behavior. First one is the present. Present from the birth to we are getting to the instinct behavior. Okay. So next, one animal copies to the another animal is called imitation. One animal copies to the another animal is called imitation. Next, conditioning means response to the stimulus that is different from the natural one is called conditioning. Imprinting, recognize mother after hatching from the eggs. Okay, recognizing mother after hatching from the eggs is called imprinting. So that means here, so important points, instinct. This type of the behavior need not to be learned. They are present from the birth. When you are born, on that onwards we are getting to that which type of the behavior, that is known as the instinct behavior. Okay, reflex. These are also one type of the instinct behavior. We do not have to learn this. For example, if that any bright light is focused in your eyes, you can close your eyes. If anybody say, so for example, a hot object, if you are touch one time is hot, next time again we can say.
Yes, we cannot touch.
So these are the all the reflex actions also. Reflex actions also one type of the animal instinct behavior. Next one is the imprinting. Imprinting also one type of the behavior. This is the recognition of the mother by the chickens and duckling after they are hatched from the eggs. Next, conditioning. Conditioning means conditioning also one type of the behavior. It is involving a response to the stimulus that is different from the natural one. It is also one type of the learned behavior. Imitation, it is a type of the behavior where the animals copies to the another animal. Creativity, make a new things. Okay, primates, the group of the mammal that includes human beings and animals. So this is in your textbook. This is in your textbook. Okay, animal behavior. Animal behavior. Okay. So animal behavior is the scientific study of the interaction of the animals with each other, with other living things and with the environment. So this is called animal behavior. Okay, so in this animal behavior, so the study of the animal behavior begins with understanding how an animal physiology and anatomy are integrated with its behavior. Both the external and internal stimuli promote the animal behavior. External stimuli include sound, smell, threats from other animal and weather. Internal stimuli include the hunger and fear. Scientists are drawn to the study of the animal behavior for varied reasons, and the field is extremely broad and ranging from research on feeding behavior and habitat selection to mating behavior and social organization. So this is the instinct, four types of the behavior. These are the example. One is the instinct behavior, imprinting behavior, conditioning behavior, imitation. So this is the diagram is the example of that instinct behavior. This is the one type of the imprinting behavior. Okay, next one is the conditioning behavior. Ivan Pavlov is the conducted experiment on that, especially for that conditioning behavior. Imitation, you know very well. Do you know chimpanzees? They are behave like that. Okay, so these are the day-to-day life we can see. Next one is you can see here. Okay, So human behavior, what are the instinct and what are that imitation like? Human have the instinct, but it is the possible for us our overcome the natural urges, follow certain behavior. For example, hungry person might start eating immediately when they sit down at the dining table, but they have learned that good manners mean they should wait until everyone seated and ready to eat. So that is the instinct. Imitation means okay, people often imitate to each other. This can help them learn something new and useful, such as a new skills in the lesson, sports, or at work. It can also lead them to show the less useful or harmful behavior. For example, young people may start smoking, drinking alcohol, and taking drugs as a resulting of the copying each other to fit. So but it is a very dangerous to our health. Okay, so actually most of that in the teenagers, especially for the 8th, 9th, 10th intermediate people, they are imitation, smoking and alcohol consumption. Because of the imitation they are doing. Yes or not?
Yes, sir.
Next, conditioning. You can see that this is a very important. Conditioning can be used to change the behavior of the people. Advertisers are the very skilled at this. If you are the favorite, okay, so every channel will have that, especially that what is that. Morning 5 to 9 o'clock they have that separate channels. In this advertising, especially if it is a story, what we can say, serials. In the serials break, if you are interested in that serial, they have the more breaks are present. Okay, if you wantedly see, so that's why they are using to that conditioning. This is also one type of the application. Okay, conditioning can be used to change of the behavior of the people. Advertisers are very skilled at this. They use the pictures of their product which make them looking glamorous or exciting, often by using the famous actress or the sports people. By associating the product with the attractive images, the advertisers are the trying to set up a conditional response to their product. People will respond positively and buy the product. If Mahesh Babu is giving to the advertiser, are you drink the Sprite or not?
Yes, sir.
Why? This is also one type of the conditional. If a boost of the secret of my energy, Sachin Tendulkar saying, are you drink or not?
Yes.
Because of
We are conditional.
conditional behavior. So why? Because greatest people they are saying, they are following, so that's why we can also follow. So because of the most of the marketing they are going on the conditional behavior only. Okay. So next one, so nestling of the bird. This is the diagram. Next one, wasp making of the nest. So some of the experiment towards the animal. You can see some of the experiment towards the animal intelligence. Especially here they are given a squirrel. Do you know squirrel? They are digging the hole and making that stored the food. Actually they are forgot where it is stored. This is the very intelligent. Okay, rabbit. Next, you know very well dolphin playings and Pepperberg. So this is the especially 100 words and seventh table also. Okay, seventh table. Okay, Alex recognize even minute of the similarities different between two objects irrespective of the color, size, shape. Okay, beside of the wonderful thing that is called apples as a binary because it takes the like banana and look the like a bag cherry. Okay. So these especially these are the animals, Tasmanian devil and Bombardier beetle. These are the escaping from the, they are secret to the smell because if they are coming to the ear they can escaping. Okay. So these are the three scientists. Who are the scientists? So animal also behave like us in the most of the situation. It is a very interesting and important to understand animal behavior to conserve the biodiversity. Ethology is a branch of science. It deals with the animal behavior. It is the branch of the zoology. The focus of the ethology is an animal behavior and under the natural condition. This is a combination of the laboratory and field science with a strong relation to certain other disciplines such as the neuroanatomy, ecology and evolution. Ethology began during the 1930s with the work of the Dutch biologist Nicholas Tinbergen and Australian biologist Konrad Lorenz and Carl von Frisch. So these are the three scientists got the Nobel Prize in 1973. So this is about the animal behavior. Animal behavior. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Shall I close the session?
Yes.
You want PDF?
Yes, sir.
I can send to you once you can study. Okay? Thank you. Have a nice day.